One practical step is to listen. My name is Christopher Tindale. I am a professor of philosophy and argumentation studies at the University of Windsor and director of the Center for Research in Reasoning, Argumentation and Rhetoric. I was interested in how cultures first came together and how they began to interact argumentatively, particularly if they had had no prior contact. I mean, there's some interesting differences. We tend in North America and in Anglo-American philosophical argumentation not to use a lot of narrative, whereas in other parts of the world narrative is quite natural. You will see narratives used in interesting kinds of ways. Again, in some indigenous knowledge systems, they would draw upon dreams. And dreams have become an important source of understanding and even of motivating action in ways that they wouldn't in the West. What counts as persuasion? In some places, the attempt to persuade someone of something is an imposition. It can even be seen as a kind of mild violence, right? I'm trying to get you to change in ways that I think you should change. In other places, it's more invitational, right? So I'm giving you ideas which invites you to reflect on them so that persuasion becomes something that you do for yourself. You decide to adopt this in light of this. So it's not the imposition of an idea, it's the adoption of it. And that itself speaks to a different way of approaching rationality. That we silence important voices that are non-Western in nature, that they don't contribute to the general pool of knowledge. We have interesting examples of cultures meeting and one culture just ignoring the knowledge systems of the others and suffering because of it. One practical step is to listen, not to rush in. I have my point of view. I'm trying to get it, expressed as forcefully as possible because I want my view on the table. And in doing this, I'm not listening to what others are saying. So I think listening becomes one of the more important things we could do. Listen before we speak.